Hi guys, so I got my friend Will here that we just recently met, and he's in a similar situation like myself. He's got a Filipino partner and he is living in DaNang. We're going to get his story. Stick around. Alright, Will, appreciate you coming on the channel, and I'll tell real quick the story of how we met. You left a comment on my channel about some places to eat while I'm here visiting, and we ended up bumping into each other at one of the recommendations, a Thai restaurant, which is fantastic. And from there, we talked and decided to do an interview. And actually, we're going to go check out the Dragon Bridge, the four of us today. And so that was pretty cool how we met and actually just bumped into each other. But you are kind of in a similar situation like myself. You have a Filipina girlfriend, and you came out from California.
Yep.
Now, I know you've been to the Philippines how many times now?
Countless now, but basically 2019 and 2022.
Okay. And how long have you known your girlfriend Diane?
Since basically I got here, so September of 2022, so last year.
Okay.
About a year.
Good deal. And now, when you were in the Philippines, when you first got to the Philippines, did you think, oh, this is pretty inexpensive? And
yes, actually the first trip in 2019, it was definitely expensive, definitely cheap. And I stayed in multiple cities. I was in Cebu, I was in Manila, Makati.
Okay.
So it was reasonably priced. I went to a ton of countries that time. I noticed Philippines was always a little bit more expensive, but
yeah,
this year it is definitely went up a good amount. Yeah.
So, for example, when you were in Cebu, what was the average cost of what you were paying a month?
So I would rent at the same condo that I typically stayed at when I was in Cebu, and it was a 2-bedroom, nice view, heart of the city, near the mall, and it was like $25 for a 2-bedroom Airbnb, not a hotel, not anything else, but $25 an Airbnb for a night. And that, I looked up the same place this past trip that I was there, and it was like 45, almost $50.
Wow. So everything's kind of going up. But this place is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a killer view and kitchen, and you got 3 air cons, and these are not like window type air cons, they're like the split type inverters. And tell me what the deal is here. Like, how much are you paying?
So like you said, 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. We got the 3 AC, the washer and the dryer. So I stayed at this apartment, 4 different units at this place. This is the cheapest unit at this place that I've stayed at.
Okay.
And basically I'm paying right around $510 when you calculate it to US terms.
Okay.
And that includes water, that includes electricity, the Netflix, everything is included with that. And I had to do a little negotiating and tell them, hey, I wanted the water and the electricity included.
Yeah.
But it all came out to that. And I stayed on a little bit better quality place upstairs, and it was about another $30. So well under $550 no matter which apartment I've been at.
And that was water, internet, electric, Netflix.
Everything included.
And the other thing you're telling me is you negotiated where you didn't have to pay a deposit.
Nope, I let them know. So basically, if I can give any advice, I joined a Facebook DaNang group, and I said, hey, everyone gets on me because I always tell them I need a minimum 50 square meters, which is about 500 square feet. I always need my space. So I tell them, hey, this is the deal. I need 50 square meters minimum. I need 2 bedrooms. And then I tell them my budget for here was like 13 million, and I say all bills included, and I leave that post on Facebook, and then you're gonna get a ton of people that are gonna send you messages, and then you weed through them, and you go and you tell them no deposit, this is it. You got to do a little negotiating, a little haggling, but then I stayed at 4 different places, 4 different owners, and same results every time.
Just the same, no deposit and everything included. Wow. Okay. Well, that's great advice. And I know if there's just like a single person, you can get even much cheaper because you could just get a 1-bedroom.
Probably, I would realistically say $350 easy, 400 if you want a pool on top and maybe a couple things, but easily under $400.
It's insane.
And if you're even less pickier than that, probably closer to $300.
I have a really good sized place in the Philippines. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it does have a pool that the 5 apartments share, and I pay $600 US a month, but that does not include internet, water, or electric.
And sometimes that can bump up your budget a lot.
A couple $100.
You got to worry about, do I turn off the AC when I leave here?
Yes.
I don't want the owners to hear it, but I leave this constantly on all the time. And we turn off the electricity, like the lights and stuff, but we leave, as you can tell, we leave all. Yeah. We don't leave this air conditioner on, but we leave the bedroom air conditioner and the living room on. And when we came in, you can see it works.
And how's your Filipina Diane? How does she like the aircon? She's used to it?
She's used to it. She likes it. She's kind of
well, she's from Baguio anyway, so she's used to the cooler.
She gets hot when it's hot, and she gets cold when it's cold. So
now, you were telling currently, or not currently, but before it was you were here. You could be here for 30 days. And you had to keep doing border runs, and then Diane, being Filipina, she only got 21 days, was it? Or
yeah, it was. It's 21 days, but I always play it safe. I leave the day before just in case there's a flight delay. So I would leave every 29 days, and she would leave every 20 days. So basically, that's 3 round trip tickets that I'd be paying for every 40 days. Wow. And now the new visa just passed, so.
And now, unfortunately, you're going back to the U.S. and Diane's going back to Baguio, I know.
So no use of the Vietnam extension of the visa. So
yeah. So currently, or now, Vietnam, you now get 90 days, multiple entry for $50 US. Mm-hmm. And then being a Filipina, for Diane, she would now get 45 days upon entry, no visa required.
Yep.
So big changes, much less expensive. So that's a great deal. Do you ever have a plan of living in the Philippines again, or just visiting?
I've never been against it. The only thing literally that stops me is just my brain knowing there's so many other places that are so much cheaper. Like, if everything was equal, I would probably live in the Philippines. So because of the English, because of getting around, because of so many different islands to go to, I would probably choose it, but it's just so hard when it's 30 to 40% more, and it kind of just negates everything.
Now, speaking of English, have you had any problems in DaNang with English?
Nope. We deal with locals. We're in a local neighborhood. We go to all the local areas.
Yeah.
Everyone either speaks English properly enough to understand, or if we just point or even just say something, they always can figure it out. We've never really had a problem at all.
Like charades, if you want.
And we hardly even do that. Point. I mean, a few times I think I broke out the Google Translator, but it always converts and works, so no issues.
Yeah, we haven't had any problems here in DaNang, and actually the lot up in the mountains, we had no problem either. Ho Chi Minh City, we had a problem, and I know Maya one time had to pull out a picture of a pig to show that we wanted to pit. I didn't have my translator that day, and but here, no problems.
No problems.
So you see yourself. I know you got to go back, and you're trying to figure things out how you can work, get some kind of online work.
Right.
Once you get that situated, Diane will come back here again.
I think my plan is probably originally like how I had it before. I'd love, like, I'm a guy that uses the visas freely, so I love to land, get the free visa, and then once that's up, go to the next country, because I'd rather spend my money on the plane flight than spending my money on the visa and then maybe not staying and still flying out. So my original plan was, at the time, was land in Bangkok, get the 45-day visa.
Okay.
From Bangkok, I would fly to DaNang and get the 90-day visa, and then after that, probably go do the 6-month visa in the Philippines. And I would basically stay in 3 cities for almost a year.
Yeah, and that's kind of similar what Maya and I will do. We will live in the Philippines pretty much, not full-time, but about 10 months out of the year, and 2 months as of right now, we would go live here.
And with the multiple entry visa in DaNang, you can use that 90 days and go do your travel and go say, let's go to Malaysia here, let's go to Cambodia at this time, and use all these Visa, the 90 days and all of them, and get great value.
Two more things, and we'll wrap it up here. One, how much do you think you're spending a month in the Philippines, approximately?
Easily, off the top of my head, I would say at least $1,500, and probably if I wasn't budgeting tight, probably closer to $1,800 or close to $2,000, mostly because of rent, because of my requirements. Like I said, I need something 50 meters, and it's very hard to find something.
Sure.
And not only when you do, it's double, triple the price there, and then getting around the transportation. You take a Grab, I mean, it's $5-7 just to the nearest stop, and then you got to come back. That's $10 a day, 30 days. That's $300.
Here it's $2, $1, $2.
I go to the airport, and the airport's less than $3, and almost everything in this area that I love is walkable. So, I mean, you save a lot by walking. You have everything here, and then when you do need to take the Grabs, like even the Dragon Bridge tonight is probably going to be $2, like $2. So it's like unbeatable.
And here you said you were spending under $1,000.
I maybe cracking 1,000 when I go to the airport and go do maybe the multiple trips, maybe 1,000, but I'm probably closer to $900, and that's for both of us. And I don't budget really at all. I go out once a day to lunch. I go out once a night to a local restaurant. I cook. We do Grabs. We do trips in the local town. We went to the 3D museum. We went to the amusement park. So all that stuff included well under $1,000.
Wow.
$1,000 if everything went bad. Like we spent too much and did this. Maybe $1,000, but definitely under $1,000.
When I was living in Ho Chi Minh City, I was spending around $800 a month, and that was eating out always. I would maybe have breakfast at home and then eating out. It's insane. So
way cheaper. Cheaper.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, the last thing as we mentioned is I think we've talked about how you find your cheaper flights, and I use the same method. You use Skyscanner.
Yep.
And there's a link down in the description for that. But also there's a link to Will's channel. But before we get to that, Skyscanner, what I do is I pull up the entire month, and I'll just go from month to month, and I'm like, oh, if you fly out on this Thursday, it's this much, and then if you return on this day, it's really cheap. So that's how I do it. Do you do something similar?
Pretty similar. So for me, the most important thing is I just check. I'll go on Skyscanner and I'll look and I'll say, okay, look, for example, I'm in DaNang. I'll look up DaNang, I'll look up that month, and I'll check everywhere. So if Bangkok, Thailand is the cheapest, I'll fly there. If it's the Philippines, which it never is, but if it was the Philippines, I'd say, okay, you know what? When my visa's up, I'm going to fly to the Philippines. And then from the Philippines, after the 30-day, I'll look up the country that's the cheapest to go from there, and I just hop and jump over from there. And basically, as long as you're flexible on the countries and flexible on the dates, you'll save 30, 40, 50% on buying tickets that way.
How much luggage do you travel with?
So that's been the big thing. So I have 2 bags.
Okay.
And these Asian airlines are really tight about like 7 kilos, which is basically nothing
to carry on.
Carry on. And if you do a check-in, it's like $30. So I've been lucky. I've been able to kind of squeak by and get both of my carry-on sometimes. But lately, AirAsia and I think ViaJet, I've been getting hammered. So I've been paying 1 bag fee, $30.
Okay.
So whatever when I go to Bangkok, it's $120. If I was bringing my bag, I'd pay another $30.
Okay. So it adds up there.
Yeah, it adds up because I fly a lot. So luckily, the best thing about having the visa kind of offset by her is I leave everything here. So she'll stay here when I go. Okay. So all I'll bring is just a shirt, my laptop, and it's well under 7 kilos. And then I'll fly there, no bag fee. And then when she leaves, the same thing.
Perfect. And we'll end it with your channel. What is your channel about?
It's a travel channel, basically about my adventures. I've been to 18 countries since 2019, 9 in Europe, 9 in Asia. My goal is to go to 100 countries.
Okay.
That's just always been my weird goal up from the start. And basically I like to show the local things, maybe not as typical as like where everyone else goes. And I focus on budget. As you guys can tell, I'm always I wouldn't say I'm cheap, but I'm very value conscious.
Yeah.
So whatever the better value is, I like to show people. So
Okay.
I go on there, talk about travel, tell you guys where to go, and show you guys how to budget, or don't go to this place and spend this, go and do this. So travel and budget primarily.
And the name of your channel?
The Real Will Davis 707.
All right, the link is in the description along with Skyscanner. Thanks a lot, Will.
Sweet honey, let's take it real slow.